Is our most popular, I guess, 2+1 semi-tri-finny egg thing for the waves out here and for California. Are really perfectly built. Simple, eggy plan shape. Everything's sort of pulled in, tucked enough. Nothing too big and bulbous. Tight enough tail, so it kind of works really nicely with the fin cluster. One of the notable sort of design features with these is actually have like a bit of a scoop out of the nose here. Just reduces a little bit that swing weight, the pendulum effect sort of from that wider nose. Taking a bit of that volume out there, adds a little rocker, takes a bit of the foam out, keeps the foam sort of more centralized under your chest and under your feet. They're quite a mid-boxy rail, keeps it sort of high on the water, and then as opposed to most of the other boards like we've got, where they've got single concave, these are just rolled to V the whole way. The V is quite accentuated here, which, as you know, when you're surfing, just allows it to roll rail to rail really easily. Keep this quite thick and voluminous under your foot. I guess the thinking is, rather than sort of being down in the water and the rail penetrating, you're using that V and the thicker rail to surf higher up on the water, and it just sort of pivots off that V platform and allows you to just tap away. Rolls over really nicely, so you're sort of more on top of the water than gouging into it. Yeah, 7.0, 21, 2 3/4, and that's sort of our standard fin setup.
僕このボードトリップには欠かせない一本だと思ってます。どんな波でも合う。僕結構大きい波好きなんですけど、大きい波でこの板乗ったらもう本当間違いなく最高です。本当にレールトゥレール、それを素直にちゃんと表現してくれる一本だなと思ってます。もともと僕すごいショートボードも好きなんですけど、中間っていうか、これノーズライディングもできるし、レールトゥレールのサーフィンもできるしっていうような、どんな状況でもやっぱこれ一本持っておけば絶対にいいっていうのは、もう本当一家に一本、本当に優れものですね。今7なんですけど、この長さが。7っていうのは長くもなく短すぎもしないっていう、例えば波がちっちゃいと長さってやっぱ引っかかってくる部分なんですけど、それもカバーできるサイズが7で、逆に大きかったとしても全然扱えるサイズ7、万能なサイズだなと僕は思います。
I guess the sizing with these, or eggy, mid-lengthy style boards, can be kind of tricky for some people. I'd try not to go too big as far as I find these. Once you get too long, you're sort of losing some of the maneuverability. But that said, you can ride a board like this in like a 7.8. And while it's not going to be as maneuverable as this in like a 6.8 or a 7.0, riding it in that longer length can also be a really nice alternative for people that don't want to ride a longboard but still get that same amount of flow and glide. So it's still going to paddle really well, easy to carry around, easy to get going. So these at a longer length are still really fun. It's sort of just depending what you want out of it. For me, if you're trying to still really surf it, electric off the tail, I think 7.4 sort of seems to be about the length I like to tap out. But then if you're looking for something that's also going to just have a nice amount of glide and a longboard alternative, you can scale them up to, up to 8 foot. Sizing wise, it's like you could ride them down to about a 6.6, 6.8. Anything less than that, you sort of lose that easy glide and effortless speed out of them. But yeah, 6.10 to 7.2 seems to be the real sweet spot for them. They do a lot of things. I've had a lot of people coming off just really getting into surfing that is still what you'd call quite entry level, wanting something that's like their first proper surfboard. Like a 7.4 or a 7.6 is a really great, easy to ride board and have a lot of stability really easy. If you're coming off riding a longboard and you want to get onto something smaller, these are still going to have a lot of easy speed, nice amount of foam, so it's still going to paddle well if you're used to riding a bigger board. It depends on the size of the surfer. Fin setup with these is a 2+1 setup. I try not to run too big a side, 7.5 to an 8-inch center fin, nothing ever bigger than that. Position of this, I like to basically get the back of this right into about the back of there. That lineup seems to work pretty well. You can cluster them a little more or you can spread them a little, but I kind of like to get that cluster pretty tight. Seems to give you the most response and the most dynamic feel.